Hello everyone. Today we're going to be making two cards and I'm going to be using the newest stamp release from My Favorite Things. These are cute little girls and boys and little baby duckies, and the first one is called Puddle Jumpers, and that's the little boy one, and I got him with the die. And the second one is Chance of Rain, I think it's called, and this one, or maybe it's Rainy Days, but she's a little girl with the baby duckies. I'm also going to be using um, sketches. One of them is a My Favorite Things sketch from their blog. I've already stamped and colored and die cut out all of my pieces, and they'll be, first card we're going to do is the little boy, and I'll just push them off to the side so I know which ones I'm using for each card. And I'm going to start with just this real pretty navy blue card base, and it's just your 4.5 by 5.5 by 4.25, and then this pink rectangle here is 2.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and that one we're going to adhere straight to the card base. Again, I'm just going straight using my sketch that I got off the internet. This piece here, this panel, has like a blue jean on one side and then the flowers on the other side, and this one is 5 inches by 3 3/4, and that one I'm also going to adhere straight to the card base, so get it in the center. And the last piece is the piece that my scene is going to be built on, and that's the blue jean side of that flower paper. It's going to go right on the top, and I don't want them just kind of floating in air, so I made like a little grassy hills at the bottom. And this die that I used to cut that out is I think it's called Hill Borders, and it's Adventure Edges, and it's an Elizabeth Craft die that I got. I got it on Amazon for a pretty good price. So I'm just going to trim down the grass so that it's right there at the bottom, so my little boy is not floating out in space. And then I'm just going to adhere some fun foam to the back because I want this panel to be popped up a little bit, and then secure that to the middle of my flower panel. And then I'm just going to start adhering down my pieces to create my scene. Now these colors are not normal colors for me to pick out. I didn't even think that they would go together very well, but I trying something new. So when I'm on Pinterest, I started looking up spring color combinations, and this was one of the color combinations that I saw on there, and it looked really good together once you have it all together. But when I started coloring it, I had my doubts as to how this was going to look. But my cloud, I remembered after I already adhered it that I needed to put my sun up there, so I moved it over a little bit. And this Nouveau glue gives you a little bit of time to clean it up, but not a lot. It adheres pretty quickly, so if you make a mistake, you probably want to move your piece pretty quickly. I just put down my sun. For my little characters, I'm going to pop them up, and I want him splashing in the puddle. As you see, I have the little rain thing over there, so I'm just figuring out my placement. There looks good. And then I'm going to pop him up using some foam squares. Anyway, the color combinations that you look up for, like spring, if you go on Pinterest and you put in color combinations, you can put in any keyword you want with it. So this one looked really good on there, so I put it together, and actually it looks pretty good to me. It's not something I would have picked though, with the greens and the oranges and the pinks and the blues. I don't know, but I ended up really liking it when it was done. So I'm just going to pop up my little duckies. And these guys are so cute. This stamp set is adorable. So make him looking up at the little boy, and the other one on the other side. This is just one of those like feel-good kind of cards. It's just really cute. I didn't make it like any holiday specific, so it's not birthday or anything like that. It's just like a feel-good card. And on the inside, I'm gonna stamp one of the sentiments that came in the stamp set. And I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool because I'm going to emboss this. So I'm going to put my stamp down on my stamp pad, try to line it up as straight as I can, and put my embossing stamp right on top. Can never think of the name of that. And then just push it down, and I'm just going to use the white embossing powder. And I think it looks so pretty with this dark blue card base and then the white embossing powder once you, oh, my camera went a little crazy. So go heat set that, and 100% chance of happiness when I'm with you. So there's the first card, it's finished, and I did put some little Nuvo crystal drops on there, and I cut that part out because I immediately wiped them off. I didn't like it. So I think this card looks perfectly fine just the way it is. So for the second one, this was a My Favorite Things card sketch, and again with the same, but this time it's the side folding card base, 4¼ by 5½, and then the white panel that's there I cut is 4 by 5¼ and then this pink rectangle is 5 inches by 1¾ and I'm just going to set that right inside the white panel. And then the little pink hearts panel is going to get popped up on the white foam tape, and that one is 3½ by 4¾ And again, I'm just following the sketch off of the My Favorite Things blog, and I'm going to adhere that. And then my little scene builder, so my little cloud card, that is 3¼ by 3. And then again, with the not having them floating out in space, it's just a piece of craft that I use that same hill dies on. I'm going to attach that to the bottom of my little clouds. And then I'll figure out where I want to adhere this to the card because I have to put my sentiment, which I already stamped my sentiment onto white cardstock. And it says, "I love you, rain or shine." And I'm going to place my base for my scene. And then I'm just going to glue down, adhere all my little scene pieces. So my puddle, I just don't like them hanging out and just like hanging out in space like I need them to be grounded onto something, so I have to put some kind of ground on there. But for her, she's kind of kicking the water at the duck. I guess that's the way, like towards the ducky, and the ducky's like, yay. That's my thought anyway when I'm making the card. So I'm just going to pop her up. She's going to go, she's so cute. She's going to go right in the puddle. And then the little ducky's going to go kind of in front of her. And then my little raindrops are going to kind of go towards the bottom. She's kind of like shooting the water towards the duck. So there's the front of my card, my little scene, and now I'm gonna kind of figuring out where I want to put it and how I want to put it. If I want it off to the side, if I want it right in the middle, and then I'll trim it down and fishtail just one side of it. And these scissors, you can't see it, but they literally just fell apart right there. So I had to go get another pair of scissors so I could finish fishtailing the end of that banner. Then I'm just going to pop this one up with some fun foam. Give it a little bit of dimension. Still trying to figure out the lighting on my camera. So when I do the inside panel, believe it or not, the pink on the inside is the same color pink as what's on the outside, but for some reason it looks different. It looked like way darker. Like when you see the card in person, it's the same color. But when it's on this camera, it just looked way darker than the other one, but I promise it's the same pink color as what's on the outside. It just looks, I don't know why my camera keeps deciding it's going to do its own thing, but so the panel on the inside is again 3½ by 4¾ and it's, I promise, the same pink as the outside. And I put the, I already pre-stamped it. I used my stamp pad to make sure, because I had to stamp it a couple times. I want to make sure it was really clear. But it says, "There's always room for you under my umbrella." And this is the other image in the stamp set that I colored. Stamped everything and cut them all out. And then put her there, and then the little ducky red underneath. And there's my card. So there's my little girl version, all finished. And put that one off. And then my little boy card. And that's my cards for today. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Have another video for you next week. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.